best all-around kitchen tip?
Well, I have to say, I think it's about trusting yourself and engaging with your senses. And you know what you like, so probably you're better at creating it than you think.
Gut instinct. I love that.
Mm.
3 cupboard staples, store-bought cupboard. You call it something different than I do.
Okay.
3 cupboard staples everyone should have.
Well, I think there is a great habit to get into, which is buying whole raw ingredients. So that's whole raw nuts and seeds, whole grains, and having them somewhere where you can see them. So I don't know if you can see there,
Yeah.
my pantry with all the glass jars, which continue to inspire me. So if I go in there and go, oh, I haven't used you for a while, I'm going to have a go with you. It does force a degree of, you have to have a little bit of time to think about it. Sure, granted, not always, but you might do. But I think that's a game changer. It's a game changer, and you just know what you're eating. So that's the first one. I think good quality miso is so versatile. You can use it in sweet things, you can use it in savory things, you can use it in surprising things that you wouldn't necessarily think. Just as, again, it's not about making it taste of miso, it's about that background wonderful umami flavor. So I'd say miso. I'd say quinoa, because Susie wouldn't like this, but I do eat white basmati rice sometimes. I just have to have my basmati rice fix, right? So what I do is mix it with white quinoa. I cook it in exactly the same way in the evaporation method. You don't even really know it's there, although it is delicious. So you're adding nutritional value to that pretty much sort of dry desert of nutritional value, which is basmati rice.
That is a very wonderful tip, because
Yeah.
my husband and boys love white rice as well.
Yeah.
And
And
they
hot chocolate.
pretend they don't like quinoa, so I'm just going to sneak it in there.
Just do like, so if you do 3 handfuls of rice, I always measure in handfuls. So a handful per person, probably, and 1 extra. If you do 3 handfuls of rice with a handful of quinoa, so it's a quarter, 3 to 1, whatever, and then start to build it up.
Okay, so we've got quinoa.
Quinoa, whole foods, whole nuts and seeds and grains.
And
miso, and I'm afraid I'm going to say dark chocolate, because I couldn't live without it.
Good one. I couldn't either. Okay, 2 important eating habits to remember.
Right. So something that I have to remind myself a lot, because I love food so much, is slow down. Chewing is so important, as I've learned through seeing functional medicine health practitioners myself. Slowing down, digestion starts in your mouth. And I would say the other one is really, really try and catch yourself in your breakfast habits. Because I know for myself, it's the hardest one to break. You go back to your comfort. It's about wanting something comfort in the morning when you wake up. So I'm a real toast girl. I really am. But I try and make my own bread where I can, or I try and buy really good quality, whole grain bread, and I try and mix it in, and I have a nut butter or something like that. So I'm getting some, but I know that's my comfort zone, right? But you just need to mix it up every now and again and say, no, right, this week I'm doing something else. So I think that breakfast is the one to really focus on. It's tough.
3 alternatives to sugar.
Well, we've already covered this, haven't we? But for sure, maple syrup is so versatile. Again, it works. It's sweet, but there's a savouriness to it, which makes it amazing sweetener. I love it. Coconut sugar. I'd say date syrup. I don't know if Susie would agree, but I love it.
What's a go-to meal for someone with a weak immune system?
Well, assuming they're happy to eat meat, then I'd say chicken broth, hands down. Hands down.
And finally, how do you nourish your body?
Oh, well, it's going back to the simple things, really. I try not to do too much. We're all so busy, and lockdown was really good for doing the opposite, wasn't it? From that, there was something you learned from that. So I do try and do less. Yoga with you is, as I've said before, quite life-changing. So I can vouch for that. That is a wonderful, wonderful practice that you have taught me. So I love that. Cooking from scratch for me feeds my soul. So it's not necessarily going to be the thing that everyone turns to and wants to do every day, but it is the thing that I love. for so many reasons: the creativity, the sense of family, the being together and cooking for other people. That's my life. Those toolkit things, that makes me feel really happy, because I know I'm like, yes, I've got this thing that's going to transform a plate of eggs or whatever the hell it is.